Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to another live stream here. Friday evening. Still in disbelief he's gone right. Right. I mean, it just happened on Wednesday. So it's 2 days now. Why whatever MSNBC is saying is still mentioned almost automatically everywhere? Isn't their influence and viewership near zero? Well, they're still a major media conglomerate, so I don't know. I really haven't seen them get mentioned much, but I get right-wing news a lot of the time anyway, so I don't know. I mean, I think we kind of all know that there's certain news outlets that are very left-wing, very right-wing, so yeah, I mean, I guess in terms of the Tyler Robinson stuff that's come out, it's obvious he's very left-wing. It's a very clear-cut case, especially when you look at the ammo and the casings, and they're coping about it. And they're trying to find any little way they can blame this on the right. And I think what they want to do is they just want to muddy the waters. They want to muddle the waters. They want everyone to forget about this. And so they can say, see, his family was right-wing, so that means he was right-wing. And a lot of this is just copium in the moment because everyone's talking about it, and then it's just to muddy stuff. Look up DDMS Clinton Allen on Google. Well, I mean, I'm not just going to look up random stuff, man. Yeah, I saw the dad turned him in. I did see that. Private citizens did the job again. 100%. From the story that I saw, the father basically, the son told the dad that he did it because the dad was looking at the photographs of what was revealed to everyone. They said this is the person of interest, and the kid had on sunglasses, but the dad could tell it was him. Then the son says, all right, I did it, and I'd rather kill myself than be turned in. But then the dad somehow got him to get turned in. He told some type of youth minister or something, and then they contacted the FBI, and I guess they were able to arrest him before he did anything else. He went back to his parents' home, I think. I mean, I don't know. There's going to have to be more information that comes out about, because he traveled a long way, apparently. It was not near the home. Do you know an Indian expat in Dallas was beheaded in front of his... I did see that. That was that like a motel owner or something? That was... And then I'd have to look more into that story, but I saw the video. It was terrible. You see what Stephen King said? Yeah, he had to apologize for it. I think he got worried about getting sued or something, but just something completely false about Kirk to try and justify his killing. It's pretty much right out of their playbook. I mean, that's their entire thing they've been doing the past 2 days. The media will tell us he's a right winger too. I mean, there's no way to say. I mean, now there's more reports coming in from his friends, and this is the kind of stuff that happened with Crooks. You know, a lot of them still believe Crooks was right wing, which is obviously completely false, especially talking to people around Crooks. He was very much left wing. This is how they get away with political violence. They can shoot at Trump, they can shoot at Kirk, and then they say, well, you know what? He might have been right wing, maybe. Let's just move on. No, these are liberal people, and they're far leftist. You could call them even leftist, not even liberal, but whatever you want to call them. Obviously, the dude is left. You're gonna say Kirk is a fascist? That's pretty much that's like standard run-of-the-mill liberal slop. Charlie Kirk is a fascist. Okay, like. Antifa, yeah, Antifa, Discord, and probably Reddit. I mean, we'll see. Apparently, there's been some murmurings of there's a lot of Reddit or there's a lot of Discord, private Discord usage, is what I've heard. I don't know if that's true, but some potential like domestic terror situation where he gets radicalized via it's all online. It's done online. From everything I've seen, it was a conservative family and he was a black sheep liberal. Yeah, that's what the friend said. That's the exact thing the friend said. They said the family was pro-gun, conservative, and he was very, like, he was the only liberal. Did you see a lot of people getting fired? It doesn't surprise me. And these people are really stupid. Honestly, as an employer, I would just fire them for stupidity. Like you're gonna put out a TikTok with your name on the account and say stuff like that. I mean, that's just such a lapse in judgment, anyways. Let alone it's completely inhumane, and it shows you have no values. It shows you can't talk with people. It is Neanderthalism. It is. You cannot talk with people. You want them to be killed because they don't agree with you. A guy claiming to be a former classmate posted on TikTok that he was a Reddit kid. Well, it wouldn't surprise me. Reddit's a hive mind of very, very leftist people. Especially some of the subreddits are. I mean, any of the political subreddits are awash. They're awash, meaning they're completely liberal. Was he a Groypert? No, he wasn't. That's basically a copium liberal angle they're taking because the Groypers didn't like Kirk. But the verbiage of what he was using in terms of what he was writing, like the fascist stuff, there's no way they would say stuff like that. Discord messages saying he needed help retrieving the weapon from a drop site. Yeah, we're gonna have to see who else was potentially involved. I know some people think, well, it wasn't him, or there's other things. I mean, people are always going to believe conspiracies. That's just how the internet is, so we have to understand that, and we'll have to see if this fully lines up. I know people are questioning the story, and there's some oddities in terms of how was the gun assembled, how was he able to get the gun in. They said he had it in his pant leg, but it looked I mean, did he take it apart somehow? You know, there's a lot of things they're gonna have to answer for sure. But it did resemble him. I mean, at least the video that I saw, but it wasn't great quality because he had a hat on and he was covered. Reddit is saying that because he's from Utah and his dad was a sheriff, he's right wing. It's insane. Well, it's basic, just pure copium. So they're not looking at the actual facts. Like, did you see what was on the casings? I mean, it's very obvious Antifa liberal slop. Not to be insensitive, but how does the loss of Kirk affect Republicans electorally? Yeah, he was a stud from an operational and organized. No, it's a fair question, 100%. That's one of the things I was thinking about. It's something that goes through your mind because he was such a huge asset for Republicans. That's why I was telling people, I was saying, this loss is so massive, let alone the violence aspect. The fact, I mean, this is just, it's the biggest assassination since I don't know when. It's especially in the political age, or the, I should say, the social media age. So I mean, I think it affects them to a degree. I don't think you can say an exact like it's going to hurt them this X amount. Certainly in Arizona, you could argue. But I mean, there could be people that galvanize and use it and come together and maybe get more Republicans because of it, especially they see the way the liberals react to it. I mean, you can make two different arguments. It's hard to really say. But he was definitely good with, and he debated and spread his message, and that's one of the purest forms in terms of being able to win an argument and win people over is through debate. What can we do about the rising threat of the Democrats' messaging and brainwashing? Well, I think there's a few things Trump can do if it gets bad enough, but I don't know if he's going to go there yet. It doesn't seem like he's going to go there. He seems to be taking the high road, and he says we can't stoop to their level. And he says we need peace right now and stuff like that. I mean, obviously, Trump was shot at, Kirk was shot at. There's no close liberal. How about this bullshit whataboutism from liberals? This is fucking hilarious. So arguably the two most important people within the conservative movement, one would have died if he didn't move his head. His head would have been blown off. And the other one gets shot in his neck, and there's rapid blood loss, and everyone can see it. But no. But liberals try and argue that the right has more political violence. What? Is there anything close to an equivalent of Charlie Kirk and Donald Trump on the left getting shot at rallies? Seriously? This whataboutism is about some congressperson or something that may or may not have been shot by a liberal or a conservative because she voted against an abortion thing? Like, are you fucking kidding me? That's the comparison? And then it's night and day, the reaction. The reaction, I mean, obviously the killing is terrible, but then these people support it. I mean, the amount of people that, I was looking for something in regards to Charlie Kirk, just like a morbid curiosity thing on the shooting. And I can't go, like, just by searching his name on X, you can't go 3 posts without seeing a liberal celebrating it. And this can be also, maybe there's some botting that's involved, but I mean, there are legitimate posts on X that have 300,000 likes celebrating Kirk being shot. And look, maybe there are some Chinese bots trying to infiltrate and make us more divided. You have to think about that. But the sheer amount of volume of videos, you could put a compilation of 24 hours together of TikTok videos alone of these people celebrating, and they're all different people, and they're normally white women. There were 4 or 5 teachers that were fired within the past 24 hours. These are normal middle-class people celebrating this. This is just what it is. People just need to be aware of it. Now you have moderate right-wing influencers like Daily Wire. I wouldn't consider Matt Walsh moderate. I mean, come on. The TMZ clip of them celebrating was disgusting, and then there's zero accountability. And then they say it was because of a... That's disgusting. They're like, it was because of a car chase. And then you watch the feed of the car chase, and in the middle of the car chase, they announce Charlie Kirk has died, and that's obviously what they were celebrating. So then they lie about that on top of it after celebrating it. Have you seen the clip of some kid losing his shit because he got fired for mocking his death? There's a lot of that. That's performance by those people. Just fuck them. Who cares? But a lot of it's performance. They probably just want views out of it. So then they have to fucking post on TikTok. TikTok is the lowest IQ social media platform by far. The barrier to entry is basically zero. You upload 15-second videos with basically no critical thinking involved. Daniel, thank you. You watched Nick last night. Star was born. Yeah, I saw some of the clips, man. I mean, the thing is, it is nice what he said, but I mean, he was really against Kirk. And I know he said nice things last night. I mean, 2 weeks ago, he called him like a fake Christian. So, and look, we'll see what comes of that, but there's a lot of different fractions right now, it feels like, on the right. They're trying, we'll see how long they stay together, but there's just so much infighting on both sides. And this is really kind of what happens during non-election years. There's all this infighting. And now they're trying to come together because this is just a terrible event. And I agree. I think it's just... Thoughts on Clemson not firing anyone? I saw that. I saw it, and people are saying take away their federal funding. It's like $130 million. Clemson University. So I don't know what the person at Clemson said, but they said something. And Clemson University puts out a statement and basically says, "Oh, we think it's terrible. They shouldn't have said that, but we're not firing them," or something along those lines. And people got pissed off. Should Trump remove federal funding colleges who refuse to hold student staff accountable? Well, that's what we're talking about with Clemson. So yeah, I mean, you can even see it right here. The ratio of it is just, which one was it? Would it be Clemson Athletics? I guess I'll just go to Clemson. I think it's Clemson University. So this is it right here. Statement from Clemson University. Unequivocally condemns any and all expressions. Stand firmly on protection of free speech. First and foremost, priority means the safety and well-being for our community. Yeah, I don't know. Do you think this was a one-person thing or more people? Yeah, I don't. In terms of the shooting, I have no clue. There was somebody insinuating in the chat that there was possibly other people involved in him acquiring the gun. There's going to have to obviously be a huge investigation into how he got the gun, he supposedly he traveled 200 miles. So obviously that they're going to have to trace that with some, with his car or however he got there. I mean, there's going to have to be a bunch of stuff that gets released, and there's going to have to be stuff that gets released on him. I think what gets released on him is going to be probably radicalization through Reddit and Discord and possibly some other channels, maybe Telegram, things of that nature, if I had to guess, when it comes to, the way. But the thing is why, like, people wondering why would this kid do this? These people, they wanted Charlie Kirk dead. I mean, they're all celebrating. So is it really that surprising that this kid would do this? I mean, this is the ideology for a lot of these people. Not all liberals, it's not all of them, but I mean it is a very noticeable amount of people that, and it obviously doesn't stop at Charlie Kirk. There's a lot. There's a lot of the high profile conservatives they would like. I mean, obviously last year they were distraught when Trump survived. They wanted Trump dead, and then they said, well, Trump faked it. He had to have faked it. Don't let left lie about the shooter. Tyler Robinson was a leftist, and that's that. No, 100%. 100%. There's nothing else. And look, we'll still get more information, but we have the casings, and this is just typical liberal. I mean, there's an Antifa song on there in terms of one of the, it's like an Antifa former Italian chant. So it's the kid is obviously leftist. One of Trump's supporters did not murder Trump's greatest ally. But see how they muddle the waters, and they're like, well, maybe did the FBI drop the ball here? Well, there was obviously there's some issues with the FBI. I mean, it is what it is. I know people have been criticizing Cash, and I mean they said they had the suspect, and then they said we've released the. I mean, so there's that's not great when you see something like that. And the only reason he was caught was because of the father. The son told the son was not. This is not a professional operation here. Everyone was saying this is a professional thing. You see him jump down. You see him run across the fucking campus. Like if some random civilian sees that and they say, "Hey, there's someone running that way," the kid probably gets caught in 10 minutes. I don't think this kid was really doing this extremely professionally. So for him to get 200 miles away, I mean, I guess it's happenstance. It can be happenstance, but also just arresting the wrong person is a bit of an issue. The old guy, I mean, if he says he did it and he's an adjutant, I mean, you kind of have to arrest him if he says he did it on scene. But obviously that was the old dude who apparently does that a lot. Why would he reassemble the gun in the woods? I don't think he did. I mean, did he have the gun? Because did he have a backpack when he was jumping down? I don't know what it was that he had. He had something when he was jumping down, some item. Was it long enough to be the gun? That's the question, because he had something. And yeah, and then why would he reassemble the gun when the gun was found fully assembled? So there's a few plot errors. They're gonna have to tell us exactly what happened. Remember, we didn't get a ton out of the Crook stuff. So hopefully with this administration, it's better. Yes, it was long enough. Well, then it might have been the gun. I mean, why would you? I guess he wanted to try and hide the gun, so he discarded it, like in a wooded area or something. Should the old man get arrested? He was arrested. You get arrested for obstructing. Now I don't know if they can get him in terms of like collusion with the kid to try and allow him to escape with something like that. But he was, I don't exactly know what he said to be arrested. He said something, obviously. If he said I did it or something, I mean, you're gonna get charged with something. You can't be doing that because that takes resources away, and that's the immediate aftermath. That's normally when you can catch them the easiest is right after, obviously. He wanted roommate to pick it up, the gun up. So you think the roommate's involved? Do you think Israel had something to do with this? I really don't think Israel had something to do with this. And and some of these Israel people, it's really sad to see because a lot of this is like, it reminds me a lot of the conspiracy stuff to where these people want to be first. They just want to be first to call it Israel or whatever and be like, I was first. I said it was Israel first before anyone else. And it's like Ian Carroll says it like 16 hours after Charlie Kirk dies, like, or 24 hours. Is that, come on, man. Like, really? We're going to do this? But I mean, this is the internet and this is just the way it is. But I just think, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how his roommate avoids. Thoughts on OW? Yeah, that's like furry stuff, right? I don't know about that. Well, remember, all those people initially said it was professionally done. These people are like cats chasing their tail, and maybe they'll be right on one. I don't know, but I'm just saying it. How much inaccuracies come out in terms of what these people think and what these people say is really happening. Everyone wants to be right. Everyone wants to be first. Everyone wants to predict the thing nobody's predicting. But 99% of the times they're going to be wrong. So we sit here and we say like, furry garbage. I don't know, man. Some bullshit like that. Some shit like that. I mean, just really leftist slop all over those casings. Do we know if Charlie's family was officially at the event? That's a very good question. I've heard both sides. I've heard his family was at the event, and I've heard his family was not. So I honestly do not know. I've heard both. So I would like an actual answer if somebody could tell me, like, confirmed, um, if his family was at the event, because I don't know. Do you think Charlie died instantly? Well, it's I think he has to be unconscious instantly. I'm not exactly sure the process in which he was rushed to the local medical on campus, and I'm not sure if with a high profile person they're obviously going to try everything, and they're going to try everything with anyone, but just the blood transfusions and all that. I don't. I mean, they said they didn't declare him dead on arrival. I'm not sure if that's just like a processing thing so they can try something, or if maybe he still had a chance. So I don't know. Are you still doing college picks this week? Yeah, I did do them on Monday, and I'll be doing them next week as well. But I do them on Monday, so they come out really early. Father cashing the 100K. I don't know, man. I mean, we'll see. I mean, what is the stipulation on your fucking son being the? I mean, that's like, what do you get 100K for that for being your son? It hit his vest and went through the neck into his brain. No, 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 no. That's not what happened. It was a direct hit to his neck. I mean, listen, you look at the conspiracy. I'm just telling you what it was, and I've talked to people about it, and it was a direct hit to his neck. Thoughts on the theory that Trump ordered the assassination since was his biggest future rival? You're joking. You're telling me Charlie Kirk was Trump's future rival? Charlie Kirk looked up to Trump. I mean, they say like that was one of Trump's sons. That's I don't know if you maybe I misspoke there or something. That's not accurate. Trump's old anyways. It's not there's not that's not Do you think 9/11 is losing cultural significance? Well, dude, we had a horrible assassination happen the day before 9/11, and 9/11's over 20, it's almost 25 years old now. 9/11 was a massive event, but when you have a real world event happen like that right up next to it, it's obviously going to overshadow 9/11, especially with 9/11 being 24 years old at this point. So it was more so the fact that the assassination happened the day before. Did the shockwave? I think the shockwave made the shirt ripple, and that's why people said, well, it hit his chest and then ricocheted up. That's why people thought that is the way the shirt moved is the reason, but that the shirt did that because of I think the speed of the bullet. Have I seen the shooter of the a picture of the shooter in a dress? No, I haven't. I saw what maybe was the shooter with the what is it, like the pansexual? I don't even know, the trans flag and then like the pansexual flag or something. Did you see that? Like with the plates. I don't know if that was him, but people were sharing it around. His family was at home in Arizona when he was shot. Yeah, people were sensationalizing it, and there were some statements about his kids and stuff, and they just sounded terrible in terms of. But I'm I guess I'm glad the family was at home. Turn on slow chat. It is on. It's based on a per person. Did you see the book that got released the day before the shooting and then they covered it up? I don't think that's true. I think a lot of that it's a clerical error. It's something. They make those AI books immediately after. That's the thing. So those books come out immediately after. I think it might have been just some type of. I mean, you can go back to the Wayback Machine and maybe see if it was actually released on the 9th or something, but. Do you see all your emails? I normally check my emails from the YouTube account. Is it good he was caught in 33 hours, or is it bad? There was two other suspects in confusion. Yeah, and it was poor job. He got caught because of the father. I mean, like it's whatever with the FBI and Patel, and people can criticize him. Like, I mean, it wasn't a great job by them, but he did get caught. I mean, but we'll have to see. They're gonna have to investigate this and make sure this is the kid and do all of that. And I mean, I obviously think it's him and stuff. So, I mean, it was a poor job by them, but Kirk could have easily been a senator or governor. Yeah, he had more. He was more popular than many senators and governors. So just think about that. At the age of 31. Are you worried about your own life? No, I'm not. I think everyone's on edge right now, so there's an immediate raw reaction, and so hopefully, like, because people were saying the same stuff with Trump and Trump getting shot, and what is this going to do for the country? And so my hope, well, this one is, I will say, this is different. It felt like when Trump got shot, everyone just kind of, no, we didn't brush it aside, but it was like, all right, that was close, but Trump's fine. And Trump really was fine. It's not like Trump had any crazy damage or anything. But this is a situation to where, a serious voice has died. And so I do think this is different in terms of like the overall long-term reaction. This is different than Trump because we're humans. We want to move on from things. It's just the way the world works. And with Trump being okay, it kind of allowed us to kind of compartmentalize it and be like, all right, that was almost really bad, but he's fine. And then he won the election. So it was like, but do we have any update on the concerning information that caused the police to I saw that. I'm going to take a look at that right now. See if we get any updates on that. Yeah, it's just not good. You're going to get that with these people though. Wonder what his Discord servers are saying now. Well, I don't know. I mean, I would imagine they've probably been nuked, meaning they've been deleted, but especially if they get looked into, they start looking into him. Only member of his family that was really leftist, according to The Guardian. The rest of his family was very hard Republican, like gun-loving, everything. He was really the only one that was on the left. So that's on the shooter there. Yeah, dude, I was looking at, and this is what, you get it on both sides, but I was looking at Reddit and their reaction to this, and it's just like, I mean, it's these people are really dumb. It's hard to really conjure a different, because you could say, well, they're wrong, they're not looking at the details, there's no nuance. But I just think a lot of these people are they're just really fucking stupid. Like genuinely stupid. And I'm not gonna say that, but I just think they're stupid. When is Destiny going to get canceled for celebrating these people's deaths? Yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's just like third grade mentality what he does. And he actually calls for violence. He's in the past called for violence against Republicans. And then he says, Republicans have created this. I don't think I've seen a single Republican say anything, as bad as what Destiny said in the past. He said he wants actual violence against Republicans. And it's like, me personally, it's like, okay, those are words. But if you're going to sit there and fucking hall monitor everyone and say, well, Republicans have created the culture of violence. and then say you demand violence against Republicans. I mean, I don't think anyone said anything as bad as what you've said about creating violence against a political group. It's just completely hypocritical. Do you think he gets the death penalty? I mean, whatever he gets, it's Kirk is such a huge asset. I mean, he can get the death penalty, whatever. I know people want this vengeance. Like it's already happened. You know, I wish there was a sniper that would have just gotten rid of him before the shot was fired. That's what I wish would have happened. I mean, hopefully he's taken care of, and I don't know what it's going to be, firing squad or, but you know how it works. I mean, these are not quick processes. Maybe they can speed it up under a special circumstance. These death penalty cases drag on for years, but I don't know. This one's so public. They're trying to turn it into a Groper thing. That's the only thing they have, because the Groypers and Kirk didn't get along. But the way, like, dude, it doesn't even make sense. I mean, why would there be Antifa slogans on the casings? Why would there be, Charlie Kirk's a fascist? You think a Groyper's gonna say that, man? Come on. But there's not even any evidence of it either from any of the people surrounding him. We demand wood chipper feet first, slow mo. Yeah, it's just not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen like that. This is the due process and stuff, and so people are saying there should be some type of serious punishment to try and deter other people from doing this, like an actual. Democrats refusing to fly flags at half mast. That's an American flag. I would think the Democrats would burn it. Actually, at least they're flying it. Normally they tend to burn them. Antifa should be declared a terrorist organization, and that might end up, that maybe that's what ends up coming out of this politically. Why are they suspecting Groypers? Because Groypers didn't like Kirk, and Kirk didn't like Groypers. It doesn't make any sense based on the evidence we have that it would be one of them. How important is the projected 2030 electoral map changes with the 9+ electoral votes for GOP states that voted in 2024? Fuck the Dems. Yeah, no, that's huge. If that holds, I mean, we're gonna have to see the migration patterns in the second half of the decade, though. So hopefully that holds, because right now it looks good to where they're going to be gaining a lot of representation. Republican states are, because of the amount of migration. So hopefully that continues. Thoughts on Shapiro saying out, bro? Dude. I swear you've sent me that like 20 times. Shapiro has refuted that and said he's going to continue doing the events. You said the same thing yesterday, and I gave you the same answer. I'm not sure if there's something to where you're muting me, AKT, but I don't know. Nobody's talking about how lame you have to be to kill someone because of their presence on social media. Lamest assassin in history. Well, that's just how the world is now. It's all on social media. You have power on social media. People, that's a lot of perceived power. He's going to get the Diddy treatment in jail. Probably not. They'd probably be separated from everyone because it's a high profile case. I mean, that's just the reality. Did you see the absolute insane reaching of them saying he was conservative at the first photo because it was in a clean room dressed as a normal person? I think it was just because he was a white man that looked straight and stuff. So that, honestly, I think that's why it was. But that's one of those things to where they're clinging for anything. But it's not even just the killer; it's the reaction. I mean, those people all support deaths of people that talk differently from them. Or that don't share the same beliefs. If they did declare Antifa a terrorist organization, they would just form a new organization and call it something else. What if this happens again? Well, I mean, you could probably, you could probably label certain things as, you could probably put it under a broad umbrella. So if they're out organizing, doing certain things, even if it's not technically Antifa, you could still label it as terror. You could stretch the umbrella pretty far, and that would make it challenging for them to organize. Thanks for the coverage, Derek. I appreciate the $20. Thank you. The people who are sharing the Trump costume thinking it makes him look pro-Trump are insane. Trump looks like Kim Jong-un in that. Have you seen that? You got my name tattooed behind your ear. That I'm sure you did. You expect that X post earlier about you not being surprised. You didn't expect that X post earlier. Well, that has to do with the planning and level of sophistication and what we see from shootings in terms of race. So that doesn't surprise me. Charlie is the king of Gen Z and younger millennials. He's the one conservative ace the Dems could not replicate. Mike, I appreciate it. He was a huge asset to the Republican movement. And that's a huge loss with the amount of young people going to the campuses, the influence, and just we've not seen another loss like that in the social media age. They're saying it's just a massive, massive, just the biggest assassination politics wise since possibly MLK is what they're saying. I mean, it's just horrible. Trump and the administration needs to come down hard or risk the rise of right-wing dictator candidates taking his place in 2028 who will promise to deliver. I don't know if the country shifts far enough. I think the country is trending further and further right. But 2028, unless, maybe there's something major that happens in the country that really radicalizes more people even after this. Because I don't know how this is going to affect elections and things like that. Like, will this have a major effect on elections? Will a lot of independent people be swayed to being more conservative because they see the liberal reactions? Are people not online as much, and maybe they won't see the reactions? I don't know exactly how this is going to swing it, but 2028 for like that type of further right-wing stuff, I think it's a bit early. Just in terms of how the population and how close it was in 2024, even though Trump did win all the swing states. So I don't know. And also this is very raw. 3 or 4 months from now. I mean, this is just the insane thing about the world. It just keeps going no matter what, no matter who dies, and so it's just going to keep going. And we're still over a year away from even the midterms. Charlie Cook would have Charlie Kirk would have beat any GOP candidate in a primary with a Trump endorsement. Oh, 100%. I mean, look at his popularity. President Trump will win the 2028 election and enter a third term. Look, I understand. You got the Trump 2028. You the Trump 2028. The age, man. The age. I don't know what do we know when the exact date of the funeral is? They're probably having to arrange it, and I'm sure it's going to be very large. And what is your honest opinion of Laura Loomer? Just obnoxious. Have you seen the picture of the assassin holding a gun at 12? 12 Mountain Time? That would have been 20 minutes before. I don't think I've seen that. Congrats on passing 300K, bruh. Bruh. I say BRUH when I say bruh. But I appreciate that. Do you think the funeral will be televised? Well, I think they're gonna have to. It's gonna be a major. Everyone's gonna be there. It's gonna have to be televised. I don't know if I can get a date on this funeral. You bet it'll be next Saturday. Yeah, so that date hasn't been announced, I guess. Typical Starbucks order. Come on, bro. I don't do coffee anymore, man. I don't do coffee. I do I do nah, I've had some tropical drinks. How did you predict the 2024 election so accurately? Well, I like Trump. I thought he looked very good in the polls compared to 2020 and 2016, and so I was able to get all the states. Brisk iced tea. When I was younger, I loved brisk iced tea, the cans. Now, brisk iced tea is good. It's very good. Don't have to worry about caffeine either. But I haven't had brisk in forever. Definitely not Sunday. There's football on. You think it'll be like a Friday maybe? I mean, because there's football on Saturday too. But I mean, how else are you going to get as many people together? You got to do it on the weekend. Is it legal for Trump to run again in 2028? No, it's not. Unless they change something. You can't send any more super chats, apparently. But you wanted to say lifelong in a tiny cell is isolation better punishment than death penalty. Yeah, I know, but people want an immediate vengeance. It's the vengeance is what people want, so they're gonna say that. So I hear what you're saying. I understand that perspective. I've heard it a ton with a lot of different murderers saying they should be kept alive, and a lot of people saying alive. But with the due process we have, it takes years anyways to for the death penalty to happen. I would actually be interested to see what is the fastest amount of time somebody actually murdered someone and then had the death penalty enacted to where they were put to death. Did you see Rasmussen's new polling of Gen Z? I haven't seen it. I know, that's they go with like a negative Trump angle with those polls I see. I don't know. I'm Gen Z. I know some Gen Zs. I think Trump is doing all right. There's this whole thing. It's like, oh, Gen Z doesn't like Trump because he's not based on Israel and stuff. It's like, come on. It's like a 5-month-old talking point. Taxpayers don't need to be paying to let them. No, I hear you. And what about the DeCarlos Brown who murdered the Ukrainian in the subway? How about his defense? His insanity defense. How much is that going to cost us? Vance is a Palantir sellout. Right. It's always we need the Palantir reference. We need a Palantir reference. I don't know, man. Palantir's been slacking, bro. We need better facial. We need upgraded technology from Palantir. 12-year-old. You meant 12 years old and have seen the photo of Kirk when he got shot. Yeah, no, I know it's really bad. I mean, there's a ton of different angles of it, and I'm sure there's angles that are not going to be released and stuff, and so it's it's the unfortunate part of these assassinations now because there's so many cameras around. Pete Hegseth, any individuals within the department celebrating Charlie Kirk's assassination, so they will be punished. Right. Jacoby Williamson fired after celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. Wow, Marine. That's insane. What do you make of a large amount of libs losing jobs overall for comments about the assassination of Kirk? Never seen so many libs canceled before. Yeah, it hasn't been this bad, but it was similar with the Trump attempt. There were a lot of liberals that got called out. There's a lot of more organization on the right. Basically, the right has like 5 or 6 huge accounts, like and wokeness and libs of TikTok, and so they will tweet out people that celebrate, and they've got like 5 million followers, so they've got insane reach. The right now has accounts like that, and these people are just getting bombarded. They're where they work is getting bombarded. They're demanding the person be fired. Their accounts immediately have to be privated. They've got to be deleted in most cases because they get bombarded. These people that celebrate the deaths, and when it gets caught by like libs of TikTok or some of the other major ones, that's the way they're able to organize it and assemble it. As like a internet warfare to have these people, be I guess held accountable for celebrating this. Wow, thank you for that super duper vision. Well, you have 100,000. You have 100,000 followers or subscribers when you got the check mark. Can you give me an actual perspective of how much backlash and people officially being fired is happening? Estimated numbers. I mean, even if I gave you estimated numbers, it would be meaningless because like how many people are actually doing this where they're celebrating, and then like what's the percentage of those that are getting fired? You can't even tell. It's impossible to say. I don't know. No, we've got enough mods, and it's hard for people to become mods because we're not gonna have that conversation. We don't need a ton of mods because there's not a lot to. It flows pretty well. Why is Georgia becoming blue? Immigration? Yeah, it's like domestic migration into the state. Just a lot of black people in the surrounding suburbs migration into the state. Atlanta just extremely minority majority now. There's still conservative parts, of course. It's the South, but yeah, it's like domestic migration. I think not necessarily immigrant, maybe some immigration from outside, but instead of saying his name, call him British Sigs. I don't even know who this guy is. Some no name. Federal court greenlights Trump canceling temporary status for 500K migrants from Nicaragua, Haiti, Cuba, Venezuela under Biden. Governor of Utah confirms death penalty currently being sought for Charlie Kirk assassin. You Gen Z and will always back Israel. Well, you're a dying breed, dude. You're dying. You're a dying breed with how it's going. Charlie Kirk arena. Charlie Kirk's wife will speak at press conference at 8:15 Eastern. I got to get off at 8 o'clock, so in about an hour. ChatGPT says shortest timeline from conviction to execution was Joe Johnson, Texas, 1932. Yeah, but that's a different world, 1932, bro. You think that could, that's get off. I have to get off at 8 o'clock. So not for another hour. I shouldn't say that because people immediately say, "Oh, he's leaving." Are you against Israel? Um, I would say I'm against supporting a foreign country at the detriment of our own country. So in most cases, yeah, because I think middle being involved with the Middle East is a detriment. Who was your date? I'm not going on a date, man. What channel is the press conference? The press conference will be all over. It'll be picked up by everyone. I'm guessing. So true Christians will back the promised land and God's people. Charlie Kirk knew that. GG. Yeah, but I mean, you're talking about like this is a new state that's been developed. It's been around for less than a century, and also are we? Who's to say we should be entangled and it just creates more animosity with the other Arab countries, more entanglement. I mean, I think there can be an over embellishment of how much money we give Israel, but it's not. It's really not the money. It's more so the influence that seems to be the problem with Israel. To what extent could large scale deportation, such as ICE raids, alter the appointment of seats in the Electoral College? Yeah, I think it's not what we thought. There's a lot of illegals in Florida and Texas. That's the problem. Now look, I don't know. Maybe there's so many in California it really screws them and they lose a lot of representation. I don't know, but listen, I've looked into some of the maps and it's possibly not what we thought. But again, we'll have to see. Prayers to the Kirk family, everyone at the UVU event, and the students, faculty, everyone mourning, grieving, police and FBI. Yes, Tyler Robinson. The sandwich, thank you for the donation. The sandwich. The political rude guy is a shill. Get him out of here. Well, he was gone for a while, but he's been big on Trump 2028, and now, I mean, if he's gonna donate $10, I've had worse shills. I've had worse people donate $2 and constantly shill stuff, and since 1980, fastest conviction to execution was 4 years. See, that's the thing. These people want something immediate to happen. That's not how it works in the modern judicial system. Is that me you're referring to? No, the polite night rude guy, the polite rude guy that always says Trump 2028. That's the guy I was talking about. Do you do sports betting on occasions? I haven't sports bet since 2018 or 20, yeah, maybe 2019. So I guess crypto is what I do instead of sports betting. I'm gonna get my bag from these shills. An extra $20 $30 with how much they take. It's not gonna do much for me. I mean, he's an active person. Being a Christian makes you a shill, so be like, God bless Jesus Christ will ride for. Yeah, no, it's a nice message. Who gets the 100K? I don't know if the father will take it. I mean, it's kind of insane. It's kind of insane to give the father 100K. His son did the shooting, but he also turned him in. And that's the only reason. The father turning him in, I think, is the only reason this he's been caught, which is kind of crazy to think about, considering his escape route was really just to jump down. It wasn't. It didn't. It was like on foot. It looked like he was running on foot. I don't know how they didn't have an eyewitness seeing him fleeing the scene. That seems insane to me. Do you know about the dancing Israelis and USS Liberty? No, I don't, man. Yeah, I am Christian. BB clip. I know. I see a lot of people asking about that. I don't know. Where is it? I saw the Chicago Cubs honoring Kirk. There's a lot that the Yankees did last night. The crowd running probably hindered the view of many, causing it. Yeah, but the thing is he was in front of them. You could see he was obviously in front of them in terms of escaping, because the crowd, they all ducked for like 3 or 4 seconds and then started running. But you could see there was no one around him when he jumped off that building. Do you think you'd ever get big enough like you are now to get security? Yeah, there's no way I would need security. There's no way I could afford security. Security is extremely expensive, extremely expensive. But security is something when you go mainstream, some people need it, unfortunately. It's just the reality. Obviously, there could have been an aerial support for Kirk, and I wonder what would have happened if they would have had a drone up and they saw that kid, if they would rush Kirk off, or because I mean they saw the kid running on the roof. People saw before he actually got into position. Didn't you do the 9/11? Yeah, that was I was joking, man. I was joking by saying I didn't know about that stuff. No Christian should support Israel. Stop putting Israel over Jesus. Remember what the Hebrews did to Jesus, our God. Yeah, I mean, there's a distinct difference in terms of what the Jews believe and what Christians believe about Jesus. Security just stepped up for everyone. Uh, there's going to be an immediate increase. But remember what happened with Trump. With Trump, they put the bulletproof glass, and then it comes off after like 2 weeks. So is that what's going to happen? I mean, they're going to up security for like 2 weeks, and then you know how it is. People, they're not going to forget about this, but they tend to get loose after a certain amount of time and say, "Oh, we don't need it anymore." That's just kind of what happens. Security, it costs a lot. A 7.99. I think it's Australian. I don't know. Check the Tate interview on Morgan. Tate is more based than ever. No, I've heard some stuff on Tate. With Tate, look, Tate has definitely lost some. We've definitely entered a new realm in terms of the internet political space. It's kind of come out of the Tate realm, but I think Tate has lost some serious influence. And Tate himself, I mean, when he talks, he is an art. He's a smart dude. Um, but he does have some issues, I know, and he's kind of a conflicting figure. What are your sources for the 9/11 videos? Jerusalem. Minute Kirk got shot, he was going about Israel doing the hit straight cornball. Well, a lot of people said that about Israel, and yeah, I think it's just who wants to be first on the Israel stuff with they're involved and stuff, and it's a huge thing on the right wing, the younger right. Your mod is threatening your free speech. My mod is threatening your free speech. Well, I mean, if you've been annoying, it's gonna happen. I mean, how you've constantly been annoying. Now you're giving me lip with a $2 donation. Yeah, the guy was a radical. Yeah, I mean, let's just stay focused on this. The left is trying to muddy the waters. They're not muddied. The guy is a liberal. He's actually probably could be classified as a leftist. This is Antifa slogans. He's got trans flags. This is a leftist. Of course it is. Who else would it be? I was like, jank. Of course. Yeah, we're not gonna ban people if they, but I mean, it just depends. It depends how annoying you get, honestly. But just be good faith about it. The guy was a regular Reddit user. Yeah, I know. I know from the writing. They were photoshopping a Trump shirt. This is how desperate they were. They were photoshopping a Trump shirt onto him in this photo. He's in his dorm or something. Turning Point USA Freedom Center. Claims he chanted USA. This is a really weird story. So there's no way anyone can believe that this is true. But it's like, I guess he's trying to lie to make people not be angry, like to calm people down. I mean, there's no way you see someone get assassinated and you start cheering like that and making yourself a potential target. And I guess he's trying to lie and say, it's insane. Charlie Kirk was assassinated by a far left individual. They are trying to paint him as a GOP to justify the shooting. We all know who they are. Yeah, no, it's complete cope. Can't believe they're trying to paint this guy as a groiper because it's because the groipers and Kirk would infight a lot, and Fuentes and Kirk did not get along. So they're trying to say, well, it must have been a groiper because obviously it's not going to be a MAGA person because MAGA loved Kirk, but it doesn't add up. It's not consistent. They need to go after the Antifa Discord. He was, well, I'm sure they're going. They're going to tell us about that and stuff. The social media usage. What did the crowd do after Trump was shot? He was trying to do the same thing here. No, 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 no. That's completely different. That was after Trump got up and put his fist up. That's a terrible complete false equivalency. Brock airs out if you ask about Kirk, at least for you, kind of weird. Really? What do you mean? Airs out when you ask about what? Well, they have to try and do it. The sandwich man. They have to try and do that. That's their cope. What else are they gonna say? But it doesn't like even just the shooter is one thing, but then all of these liberals supporting it and putting their name to it. I mean, it's on their accounts and it's on their public accounts. It's not even. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of anonymous support on Reddit and stuff, but a lot of these people on TikTok record their faces and they're like celebrating and stuff. This is what they want. So why would they say, oh, it's a conservative? This is their party. What your gut tell you about the Tyler Robinson guy? Reddit obsessed beta liberal who, they end up going down the path of it's for a cause and it's important, and this is Kirk wants to erase all gay people and stuff. That's the path they go down, and so they go on Discord or Reddit or both, and Groypers wouldn't stoop to that low, not a chance. Groypers and Turning Point USA are fractions within a bigger conservative movement. Well, I mean, I think an individual, it's hard to predict an exact individual. Like if you've got 1 million people within a group, it's tough to predict all 1 million are not going to do something. But I hear what you're saying, but it's not even remotely. Like let's stop pretending this is even remotely a case. It's not. This is a liberal who did this, obviously, and then they celebrated it. So it's like, yeah, I know, dude. People were trying to tell me that in the chat. They're like, "This, dude, this is not a normal reaction. You don't cheer like that when you see someone get shot." And come on, I don't know who people are saying about that. Thoughts on Israel theories? I don't really believe it. I think everyone wants to be first on it, on the Israel stuff, and we should overturn gay marriage, end it. But that's another Roe v. Wade. You want another Roe v. Wade for 2026? Because people are gonna they freak out about that. But I mean, culturally, it would be good. Culturally, you could say it would be good. Yeah, this was it right here. Anonymous. This account should be. I mean, this is just straight up, just complete slop. Original version. And then they posted original version under it. This was the anonymous account or whatever that got taken over by liberals, and now they post and they get like 1/100th of the engagement or something. Like liberals bought this account and they're trying to be like based leftists. People in real life who actually believe it was a right wing guy. It propaganda. The power of propaganda. The power of propaganda. Anonymous is blaming the fake MAGA shirt on MAGA, saying they tricked them into posting it. They just delete their account. What if Elon Musk is like, I'm just tired of talking to you. I'm just sick of hearing what they're blaming MAGA now for trying to, say that they insinuate the shooter is MAGA. But I mean that's actually par for the course. Trump gets shot, they blame Trump. Charlie Kirk gets shot, they blame Trump. Someone else gets shot, they're gonna blame Trump. A liberal gets shot, they're gonna blame Trump. Another person gets shot, they blame Trump. It's just they have to blame Trump for everything. No matter what happens, they blame Trump. Overturning gay marriage would lose a monumental amount of our votes. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying it's a Roe v. Wade 2.0. You can say it's a culture win, but then obviously, you know how Roe v. Wade affected the 2022 midterms. It would be someone right of Charlie. Well, that's why they're saying it's a groiper, right? That's the exact movement that would be right of Charlie that doesn't get along with him. But it's obviously not that. It's a mischaracterization. But that's why they're saying it. Because obviously it's not as simple as, well, because there are different factions within the right for sure, but oh, they're doing the whataboutism on Rittenhouse when he shot the 3 criminals in self-defense. It's always fun when they do that. winning elections isn't the end game. Changing the culture and country is the end game. Overturning gay marriage. Yeah, but can't they just overturn it in an off year? I mean, the timing of it was so bad in 2022 when they did it. There, you can do it, but also make it. We'd like the timing to be better. Because if you do it like 3 months before the midterms, I mean, it's just you can technically do it at any point. Yeah, that's how they would swing that stuff. It is crazy how they swing those type of cultural, court cases. You feel strangely optimistic. Am I in denial? Are you depressed more or less? I think it's a sad time. I mean, seeing that and just, I mean, I guess you could be optimistic because there's gonna be a reaction. There's an immediate anger. I think people feel. People get angry. Did the guy cheering know that Charlie Kirk was about to be killed? That's a very odd reaction. It's basically a completely freak shock thing. The entire crowd's gonna go into shock. You're not even coming close. So to have a reaction like that, people in this chat are like defending that guy. That is not a normal reaction at all. 1 second after the guy, you see blood spewing out of his. Now it just doesn't add up at all. No, I mean I don't know. I'm not insinuating he's part of it, but it was a very odd reaction. You cried 6 times over Charlie Kirk passing. 3 p.m. Tuesday is court hearing. He just could be a psycho. It's not even, but like how do you process that quickly? Like the guy gets shot and you immediately go to cheer and look back and egg on where the bullet came from. I mean, that's what happened. Like the normal reaction is just immediate shock. Are the flags at half staff for Charlie Kirk? Yeah. Cheering Guy does a Q&A and his yeah, he sounds like a fucking wacko. It's like incoherent. He's like, I was doing it as a distraction. You don't process things that quickly. It's not even. Conspiracy theories are silly. Government stories most believable. Good grades radicalized. Year one, year two went psycho. You know that story. Yeah, the radicalization would happen probably on. It would happen online for sure. Is this bigger than 9/11? Come on. ABC News criticizing Trump for not calling out political violence against Democrats. What? I don't even know. Even the person, they're like, well, some representative that nobody knows got shot, and it may or may not have been by a Republican. That's what you want to compare to Trump and Kirk getting shot? Seriously? Like they try and have this entire list. There's like, well, there was a bomb threat, and a lot of them are like fake bomb threats called in by Democrats, and they blame on Republicans. That's happened a lot. Surprised he didn't leave behind a manifesto. That is insane. Maybe he left it in his drafts or something. Well, he had time to release it. He went back home and he had a 2 day. Yeah, I don't know. Because you would think with something like that, that's a huge killing. And that would be another thing. Whenever I see the manifestos always turn out to be like really weird. Like no matter what you expect, there's always something different that these people say. Like I always think the manifestos they're just odd. Probably because he didn't plan on dying. Come on. You go on a campus and you shoot someone that high profile, you have to think you're probably going to die. If you don't plan on dying, you don't do it. He didn't plan on getting caught? Come on. That's insane. I mean, you do something like that, you really think you're not going to get caught? Unless you're like a highly skilled and you've got like a flight lined up and you have connections. If you've got serious connections, but that would be like more of a hired event thing. He said when he was at his house that he would rather commit suicide than be taken in by the police, but then he somehow got taken in by the police, so I don't know. To not get caught, he would have had to cave. He would have had a cave to hide in for 2 years. Instead, he confessed to his death. I know. I think he's a lot of these guys. They're surprised they escaped the actual premises of the. A lot of them probably think. You know how Crooks died. He got shot by a sniper. He probably thought he was going to get shot by someone or something in response. The Guardian says the high school friend claims he was a leftist. Polymarket rumored to be raising $9 billion valuation.
Yes. So when he's first spotted on campus, he has different clothing on, and then he changes clothing on the roof, and then changed back into that clothing at some point, so that when he was apprehended, when he was arrested, the clothing matched the clothing he had on before the shooting here at UVU. Yes. So when he's first spotted on campus.
Mm-hmm.
Do authorities believe that Tyler Robinson acted alone?
Yeah, yes, Brett. They're very confident right now. Obviously, the investigation is ongoing. They're still following every lead. We appreciate the public who has reached out, but every piece of evidence we have so far makes it very clear that the assassin acted alone.
So I saw you read from the.
So they're saying he acted alone.
We were preparing to go live and show you this all on air, but moments ago, police told us that we had to evacuate the area, that they got some type of concerning information basically directly in front of or around the family home. We're not certain what that concerning information is, but there was also a chopper above, and authorities told us that we had to clear the area. So that's why I'm on the phone right now. We're not able to show you this on.
The clip is all the way down. Well, how many fucking times is...
And just last night, the suspect was taken into custody at 10 p.m. local time. In less than 36 hours, 33 to be precise, thanks to the full weight of the federal government and leading out with the partners here in the state of Utah and Governor Cox, the suspect was apprehended in a historic time period. And just last night...
Dude, it was his father.
I had one the other night. I went into a restaurant, and this woman stood up. I looked at her immediately. She had money. She wasn't serious. They get paid for it. They're professional from Soros and other people. And we're going to look into Soros because I think it's a RICO case against him and other people. Because this is more than like protests. This is real agitation. This is riots on the street. And we're going to look into that.
What do we do about our country with that? Because we have radicals on the right.
I had
It's always a conspiracy. That's the clip. Let me just show this so people.
Before I let you go, I want you to address one thing, and it's just the absurdity of it. Some of the internet rumors that somehow Israel is behind the Charlie Kirk murder, and I don't believe it for 1 second, but I want you to make a statement. It's so absurd.
That's insane. That's insane. Israel also changes the orbit of the moon. Israel pushes the sun. I mean, the whole thing it's not only insane, I think it's so absurd, so stupid, and so ridiculous. You can't believe that people are saying this. They just found the perpetrator. They'll get to the bottom of this, but they go, they have no limits. When you hate Jews, when you hate the Jewish state, you're willing to say anything and promote all these absurd rumors. And by the way, they're willing to kill us all the time. I mean, that's what they're doing. And over the centuries, when Jews, especially in the Middle Ages, the horrific Middle Ages, the worst things were said about Jews you couldn't possibly believe. We were poisoning the wells. We were drinking the blood of Christian children. You name it. I mean, these things, that continued actually up to the Holocaust. The Nazis said the same thing. We're carrying vermin, we're spreading disease. And people believed it. And every time they believed it, this was a prelude to a greater and greater massacre, culminating with the worst massacre of them all, the Holocaust. Well, since then, we've learned, when people spread these lies about us, prepare yourself for the assault. And, they're trying to delegitimize the state of Israel. Charlie Kirk said to me that, he wrote me this detailed letter, you have to fight the slander. These untruths, these vilifications have consequences. And he was right. But I'll tell you one thing, we're fighting on the battlefield against the terrorists and winning. And he was fighting on the battlefield of ideas. And I think he was winning. He was going to win. That's why they shot him. I hope they don't silence him. I don't think people will give in to these ridiculous lies.
Basically, one of the info, I don't know who it was it like Chase Geyser or Harrison Smith, I think. One of them said that Charlie Kirk, he heard from a secondhand source that Charlie Kirk said that Israel would kill him like 3 weeks ago. He tweeted that. So then, obviously, it happens. And so that's why people think, Israel's involved. I think that's partially what it is. And then people said, well, Charlie Kirk was starting to turn on Israel. I don't think that's really a fair representation of Kirk's view, before his death of Israel. I mean, I think a lot of young people were turning, and so Kirk is like, he's got a young, people crowd in terms of the Turning Point USA. Kirk was starting to question and flip on Israel. Yeah, I don't think that's I don't really think he was. I mean, he might have been loosening his position, but all the kids are like anti-Israel, so you kind of have to if you're Kirk. So, dude, I don't really see that. I think there's a lot of immediate wanting to blame everything on Israel, but I mean, we'll have to see what ends up coming out. A generation will always be remembered. We'll always remember where we were when the news broke about Charlie Kirk's assassination. This is a dark moment in U.S. history. Rest in peace. Yeah, rest in peace. And it's still only 2 days. I mean, seems like it's just 109 countries. Remember that? Well, they've been telling me it's 111. I don't know. Teacher asks a kid why he's been expelled from 109 schools. The kid replies, "It's not me, it's the schools." I think some of them were actually regions, not countries. I don't trust donation. I don't trust the Jews. Here's a question: if he wanted people to see the memes of his casings, Why would he try and hide the gun covered? Also, chat like the stream. Why was he trying to get his gun recovered? I don't know if he was. I mean, is that true or not? That was just a question. Somebody's just said, well, on Discord, he wanted the gun recovered. Who knows? I don't even know if he wanted the gun recovered. But I mean, obviously, if you're gonna write things on there, that's what you believe, whether it gets recovered or not. Did you see Expose Charlie's Murderer's website? No, I haven't seen that. What is it? The dummy also wore the same clothes. I heard from a police report that he changed clothes when he was on the roof. Bro, these chats the past few days, I think they're going to die down. These chats are... They're going in a different direction. You need good luck for your birthday in Vegas. Be sure to bet NFL games this weekend while I'm in Vegas. Well, I don't really bet on sports anymore. But if you're going to Vegas, that's a potential. You need to heed caution. Heed caution. The pictures look nothing like this guy. I mean, what do you mean the pictures? The pictures, he's in a hat and has sunglasses on. It's kind of hard to tell. Are you 100% ruling out possibility that Israel is involved? Oh no, let me get the briefing from Cash and I'll tell you. I mean, how am I supposed to know? I don't have. I just think a lot of people want to immediately blame Israel, and so it becomes this this obsession to get it first. His facial bone structure, nose don't match at all. What do you have, Palantir technology? You're gonna, what did you fucking, did you do an entire photo scan of his face and the ridges and everything like that? Isn't Cash bought by Israel? No, his wife is his wife. He pulled his wife, bro. Bruh. Come on. You got two eyes, but dude, come on. You know how people do this all the time. They say it's not the person, it's not the. This is what always happens. We always go through these thought experiments. People are like, it's not him, it's. The kid was 22. He lost some. Yeah, you also might be comparing old photos, like when he was 17 and 18 to 22. So it was a straight shot then. Looks like he got shot from the side. No, I think it was pretty dead on. If you look at the vantage point of where the shooter was, seemed like it was a pretty dead on shot down. Thoughts on Destiny laughing, par for the course? Bro, you don't understand. He's based. Bro, he's edgy. Straight shot, no one saw the exit wound, which would have been bigger. Well, they say it like possibly severed his spinal cord based on, you know, where it entered and stuff. It's just catastrophic. What's the Vegas odds of him getting shot before trial? I don't know if that'll happen. I mean, and then you got to wonder about that, just like the JFK situation. Video just dropped of Tyler speaking at a left-wing rally with gay flags behind him. Boom. Yeah, I don't know if that's him, though. I've seen that video. It doesn't really look like him. How come there was no ambulance on site? Well, they were at a small university. I'm not exactly sure how those functions in terms of the, you know, whether the proximity of an ambulance and everything. I mean, they threw him into an SUV and rushed him to. I mean, I don't know how far they drove and where the location of which they took him to, but it couldn't have been very far. It was an on-campus hospital, I think. Hospital 5 kilometers away. Why is there any debate? It's because people have to debate everything. Did you see the woman, you forgot who she is, who was close to Kirk and got the news that he got shot while holding her own event? No, I didn't see that. Well, that sounds terrible. I don't know who's gonna win. I don't know who's gonna win that fight. If somehow he survived, he would have been crippled permanently. Yeah, probably. I mean, but I don't even see how he could have, you know, survived. It's just. Did you see the black guy stealing hats? Yeah, I saw that. You're late. You had to take a shower. Well, I started at 6 o'clock instead of like 7 or 8. Charlie Kirk wife making an address 8:15 Eastern. She's making an address. Stop with the left versus right BS. It's getting toxic. And well, that's the country. I mean, the country is obviously most people are either conservative or Democrat. I mean, that's just the reality. I don't think there's any way he suffered, and I think it's kind of a dick move. I'd like to know the exact, because it's a morbid curiosity thing. I think there's no way he was immediately unconscious. When they said, well, in reaction he fell over. I think he just fell over because he was unconscious. Only 3 bullets were loaded, correct? I don't know. I think it was 4, right? One shot. Imagine he missed. What would he start doing? Panic spraying like crooks? He was basically dead on impact. Probably didn't even feel it. Yeah, I mean, probably. It ricocheted from the edge of his body armor. That's a clear troll. His arms curl up. Yeah, I've seen that with other people too, where their arms curl up. What is it? An involuntary reaction? People were saying that he was still alive were wild. It was clear he was dead. Well, he wasn't announced dead on arrival at it. What is the protocol for that? Does anyone know why he wasn't announced dead on arrival when he got to the hospital? Is it just because they were trying, like, I mean, because they were trying blood transfusion, so I'm not sure, honestly, the protocol of that, the medical terminology. Yeah, I mean, that's insane to think about. Like, you don't even feel it. It's just. A doctor has to be the one that calls it. Family formality, maybe. Probably doing compressions and also wanted the hospital to confirm. Just saw a pic of Charlie that you thought was pretty cool. He visited your hometown in Oklahoma. Yeah, that is cool. Thank you for the $1 donation. Can you ask them not to do Jewish conspiracies? Well, this is the internet. You're really not going to be able to police that. There's no way he was stable at it. Well, yeah, that's what Tim Pool reported. You think the kid's adrenaline could have been why he hit the neck? I mean, I don't even know what the kid was thinking. I mean, that's how long did it take for the kid to get up and run? I wonder. He probably ran right. They said he changed. Well, I guess he changed before the shooting on the roof. I think that's the timeline. There's lots of conspiracies with this shooting. There's going to be a ton of conspiracies with every shooting. He missed low and hit his neck. You think you could actually have access to all the video timestamps so you could figure out how long he waited to run? I mean, I think he ran instantly, but you're right. There is the video, but I don't. There's not the video of him getting up, like because it's cut off. There's a video of him, running most across of most of the roof, but not all of it. So I don't know exactly. I mean, I would imagine it was probably pretty much instantly, maybe like a second or two after, like 3 seconds after the shot. You wonder if his brain stem was hit. Um, I don't think so. Yeah, no, I know. The videos are just terrible. Every possible explanation for the cheering guy is insane. Yeah, it's just not a reaction. I don't really understand what I'm even looking at with him doing that. So 4chan is washed. Yeah, didn't 4chan get the wrong guy? Or they said it was someone that was trans or something? I mean, dude, I hope we don't go through this public stuff of of violence, honestly. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of conservatives that are mad because it's back-to-back years where one of the top people gets shot. Have you heard the theory that Trump ordered the assassination? Well, there's always gonna be every theory, man. There's gonna be every theory on everything. But obviously, you know, Kirk is a great supporter of Trump, so it's not something to entertain. Invest in security company stocks. Well, which ones do you offer? I'm not into stocks right now. Dude, we're not doing this with the bullet bouncing off and the ricochet. Not the ricochet. There's no ricochet, bro. Difference is the leftists tried to kill people in broad daylight to send a message. Well, I just think, unfortunately, they think that it's acceptable because of words that Kirk said, and they're trying to push the country extremely left. So anything that's perceived right, they're trying to stamp out. Honeywell. The January 6th stuff is kind of. I mean, that talking point was kind of stopped after Trump won. You know, because obviously people don't care much about January 6th if Trump wins the next election. Like, did it start with Obama? I think it started really with Trump. You know, they started labeling Trump really extreme, and that's when because there were milquetoast neocon Republicans until Trump. Do you get enough sunlight? Well, I mean, it's not ideal. Not ideal for me to be out in the sun for too long. No. The theory that the theory has basis that Kirk was Trump's rival for the future, and he would now it doesn't make any sense. That's the second time someone has asked me about that. Why would Kirk is like 50 years or 40 years younger than Trump. Kirk could wait till when Kirk's 40, if you know, when Kirk was 41, Trump would have been what, 90 or some shit. Like, that doesn't even align. That doesn't even make sense. And then the Epstein distraction, dude, I'm getting sick of the Epstein stuff. I really am. I don't know how many times I can explain the Epstein stuff. But the Epstein stuff really is like, and I know Trump handled it badly, but it really is Russia. Like, it's just that they just keep saying it. They just keep saying it. They just keep saying it. But it's like even worse because they had 4 years to just destroy Trump's life, and they did nothing. And they even discouraged it from being released. They said there's no files, it was fake, it's a conspiracy against Bill Clinton. Shooter wanted to cause a spectacle that blessed the. Yeah, and it's like you get into the mentality of, oh, you're doing it for a good cause, and he's such a horrible person. That's it. Charlie had direct connection with the administration, 100%. 100%. He had a lot of connections. He's seen with Trump many times. You've been harsh on Trump for the Epstein stuff, but anyone bringing it up right now, just pure distraction. Well, Massey was bringing it up a lot the last few days. Ben Shapiro is already trying to take over for Charlie Kirk. Yeah, Shapiro said Charlie Kirk's legacy is gonna live on, and he said they wanted to continue doing it. I don't know, how is Ben Shapiro gonna take over? Isn't it a different? Kirk was a Protestant. You're really dodging answering that theory. Which dumb theory do I have to talk about now? Thank you for the donation. No, I don't think Benny Johnson would be the new Kirk. I don't know who takes over for Kirk. I mean, people keep saying people. I don't know, man. I think it's a unique. Kirk was unique. There's not really any. It's not like they had a number two that would also go to campuses and debate beside Kirk or anything like that. Trump ordering the assassin. I didn't sidestep it. It's ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. It makes zero sense. The idea that Trump would order that. But dude, like, it's important to really, when you believe or half believe these theories, it's like almost a litmus test. Like, you got to use critical thinking. How do people have zero critical thinking or deductive reasoning? Well, I said that before I saw that comment too. Like, some of this stuff is just. I mean, but I guess we should expect every theory nowadays on the internet. Yeah, I saw Candace Owens saying, I don't know what she's saying. She's saying something about how she's angry or something, and yeah, I don't know. No, I got to get off at 8 o'clock, guys. Long time watcher, keep up the good work. I appreciate that, Brad. Thank you. Charlie Kirk, not Kirk, can replace him. No, I'm not going on a date. Girlfriend, yeah, I'll reveal a girlfriend to you guys. That would go well. That would go real well. Thanks to Kirk, you found my channel. Really? Well, I appreciate that. Candace Owens said the moon landing was fake. She saw this on her show last week. She's entertaining, brave, and obvious, limited, but yeah, no, but they always say that type of stuff. That seems very tame in terms of theories nowadays. The moon landing being fake. I've looked into it. I don't know. I think there was a competition. First time donating, but I agree with the other super chatters. The theory holds weight since Kirk was a rising star. There's even a subreddit. Yeah, that's a complete troll. I appreciate the troll donation. Thank you. Tucker Candace 2028. There's even a sub. Yeah, that was good. That was good. There was even a subreddit. Throw that in there. We get really important information. Remember, something was wrong 2024. Very good information. It's a stupid question. Come on. Thoughts on Megyn Kelly? I saw Megyn Kelly had that the huge live stream right after with what was it, Glenn Beck reacting. Yeah, that was an emotional live stream. I saw that after I finished my stream. Most prominent youth. Well, Kirk was kind of like the leader. Kirk was the leader of the biggest pro-American youth organization in the United States. Your liberal friend says the same thing about the Trump theory. Yeah, we got to get more people involved. The world is ending, but crypto is up. 9 BTC. You have 9 Bitcoin. You're flexing that to me, really. You got 9 Bitcoin. You're a shrimp compared to me. No, I'm joking. Are these assassination theory guys bots or trolls? No. You can't. There's not. You're not. If you donate, it's not a bot. If you donate money, it's not a bot because it's a human action to donate money, so it's not a bot. Titanic theories are also pretty unrealistic. They're all unrealistic. I've talked about them on my channel. 9 Bitcoin is nothing nowadays. 9 Bitcoin is like $1 million, basically. Like the stream. Yeah, guys, like the stream. Somebody's going to have to bridge the gap between the average rudimentary conservative like Kirk and radicals like Nick and Candace. Well, I think right now it's a war. And also I would throw Tucker in there. Kind of, it's like Tucker against Nick and Candace is somewhere in there, but like they're all fighting for the same younger white dude. And it's I mean, but I know Tucker said he doesn't want to run or anything like that, so but like that's the party. But I still think the overwhelming, like you got to be really online to think like, oh, this is an actual battle. Like the overwhelming majority of right wing is just establishment normie what right. I mean, that's just the reality. There needs to be more troll donations. Wasn't COVID being fear-mongering a fear-mongering disease, a conspiracy theory, yet true? Theories could always be true. Well, yeah, theories could always be true, but there has to be some with certain theories, there has to be some thinking involved. You know, when you believe every theory, I mean, it's you have to be able to use a reason. Lack of security was unacceptable. I know there was no aerial. That's the problem. There's no aerial support. You need a drone or something. I mean, you think with the amount, with that operation, they'd be able to get a drone or something. Imagine they had a drone. I mean, I'm guessing they would have to. You'd be able to spot that dude. I mean, it was pretty, like kind of a far away building. It was just like a weird, the way in which it was configured. It was weird. I don't know if that's true about the homosexuals. I mean, that's really not what the party is. Are you gonna be live for the pressure at 8:15? No, guys, that's gonna do it for this live stream. I'm gonna get off for the night. So the presser's at 8:15. So we'll see what happens there and things like that. So I don't know. Am I going out to dinner with my family? No, I don't eat dinner that late normally. I'm not gonna eat dinner at 8:30. All right, guys. All right, I will see you guys later.